Alright, now that is isolated, we can keep hammering that down. And that's plenty of material, so we go ahead and cut that off. Right about there. Here's I didn't cut all the way through it. So we'll just break that off. That's done. There's a knife. I know it looks a little funky, but this section back here is really thick, so we get to stretch that out. So, I'm an idiot. The way I started the point for that blade, and then when I went to isolate the handle, I accidentally isolated the opposite side of what I should have done. It's okay, it can easily be fixed, but when you're hammering that point into there, that's not the actual edge that you're making. You're making the spine, and that was my intention as well. And then when you hammer those bevels in, that widening of the metal will work that edge, that point back up. That's how you typically do it. I did this one exactly backwards because I wasn't paying attention, but I can fix it. So this turn should have actually been down here, but like I said, I can fix it. I'm not going to change it. I'm going to keep going. Just have to rework the blade a little bit. It started to curve a little the wrong direction on us. Straighten that out. Alright, here we go at the horn. We're just gonna bring that back around. That's better. Much better. Now, that's better, but we've got almost a straight spine, so I'm going to heat it back up and we're going to try to make the blade dip back down to fix our mistake, or my mistake. As I've traced my original right here on the anvil, and we can lay this up against it and just kind of get a look. Pretty close. I'm about 1/4 inch off on my length for my point, and the handle's good. I think we're there. I'm just going to take some of these thick spots and thin them out just a little bit. That'll make it a little bit big, but we can always trim it down on the grinder. Oh shit, dropped it. Alright, well, I have taken a few heats off camera just to thin all the material out. It's a bit boring and took quite a while to do it, but the only thing I've been doing is just thinning it out, stretching it out. So overall length is good. We're actually a little bit larger, which is great. That means we can go to the grinder, shape it, trim it, all good. The width of the blade, not quite there yet. So I'm going to start on the bevels now. That's going to gain us some more width and should put us right where we want to be. We're going to start right back here. Just working a small section at a time and working both sides. And start drawing that material out. And that's what you get. That little lobe that's popping out, that's where we're going to gain our width. Right there. The material is still pretty thick, much thicker than you would ever want a kitchen knife to be. However, as the old adage that I was taught is forge thick, grind thin. So I am thinning as we go, but I'm still keeping it much thicker than I want the final product to be. That way when we go to the grinder, we remove all the scale, we flatten that surface back down, we have plenty of material to work with and we don't end up being too thin. So we'll keep on going. Alright, second heat on our bevels. That's starting to widen out. That's what I want. I switch down to my little dog's head hammer here. A little more control over what I'm doing. That is really starting to curve on me. We don't want that.
Work our way down towards the tip. You spent an hour and read. Like you're in here with me. You're not.
So that's getting close. Now there's plenty more shaping to be done, and what we want is, see if I can get that to just sit there. It's not going to. Okay. So for a chef's knife, you don't want a straight line for your edge. You actually want to have a little bit of a curve to it, so you can do that rocking motion as you're cutting on the cutting board. So we don't have that. We're going to work on that, and as I continue to draw the metal out this way, it makes it expand in this direction, and it's going to force it back into that natural curve that we want. The thickness or the width up and down right here is getting pretty close. I want to see it get a little bit thicker, especially here around the choil. But we're not far off. Pretty close. Let me get the original. So there you go. The original up behind it. I'm actually right there at the choil. I'm high enough. Right in here, I got to bring that out a little bit. The handle's a little longer than we need. Let me bring that out just a little bit. It's very, very close. Very close. I can go back up towards the choil right there and try to bring that out. That is much better. Starting to get that banana back in there though, so what I'll do is I'll go back to the power hammer, and right here on the ridge of the spine of the handle, I'll thin that, and that'll make it come back around. There's too much material there anyway. Alright, back to the power hammer, thin and straighten a little bit more. I think we're there. So now I'm just going to straighten that all out, tune it up a little bit, let it cool down, and take another look at it, put my hands on it where I can feel it and I can hold it, and if we're close enough, then we'll go to the grinder, and we'll capture all that too.